Hi there, welcome to my channel if this is your first time, and welcome back if you're an old timer. So today's video is a bit of a different one, not something I would normally do. I feel like for a long time I've just been living in slight denial about plastic and all that, everything that comes with that, everything that's going on, landfill, just how we're looking after our world. And I've just been kind of closing my eyes and pretending it's not happening. I spent the day with my parents a few weekends ago, and I just felt really challenged by what they were doing and how they're looking after the environment, and just silly little things that you wouldn't think are a big deal, but I forget to think about, that they just kind of have in their lifestyle now, so they don't have to think about it. They've just kind of set that into their way of living. Anyway, so this video is for people that are like me, who get put off by the idea of it. It all just feels really unattainable, and so then because it feels so unattainable, I just kind of switch off and ignore it all. And I feel like I'm maybe a bit of like a all or nothing kind of person, and so I feel like if you're going to be plastic free, then you've got to be completely plastic free, and everything you use is made of beeswax. I thought you had to be like the whole package type person. I thought you had to wear harem pants, be very zen and enjoy yoga, and just drink from rivers rather than using a cup. And then I kind of realised actually there are different variations of being plastic free. No disrespect to people that do any of those things. Those things are amazing. It's just not a lifestyle I could live up to. But this is kind of a video I wanted to make to show you that it's possible to start being plastic free in a really overwhelming, intimidating way. And I think I kind of just had the realisation that every little bit I do counts, and as much as that every little helps. Is that Sainsbury's or Tesco? But it's true, every little does help. For every kind of one time I take a keep cup with me and get a coffee rather than taking a plastic one that will just be chucked away, for that one time, that is one less cup in landfill. If you add that up over my lifetime of doing this, it will make a difference. And although I'm only one person, I will be able to make a difference. And so for me, that's been the kind of incentive. Another thing I found is it doesn't need to be more expensive. I think with these kind of things, often with like trying to eat really healthily or exercising lots, I feel like those kind of things can often feel like they come with a lot of hidden costs. So to eat more healthily, often I find like special things that people wanting me to buy, like chia seeds and special whey powders and whatever. I don't know, it was all like adding up these kind of things that you can only find in Whole Foods, and so you go to Whole Foods and buy like a little tiny paper bag of food and you've spent like £45. Whereas this plastic stuff, it really does, it's no more expensive, and it's really no more hassle. It's just like really little simple changes into a lifestyle that are really achievable and maintainable. So anyway, so I'll get started. All about little changes that make a big difference. Oh, just put that on my fridge. Little changes making big differences with Bright Mama. Anyway, first off is drinking. On the beverages, I now take this everywhere with me. This is a Chili's reusable cup. Doesn't leak in your bag, and I have water in there. And when I'm out and about and I finish it, I just pop into any cafe, any restaurant, no one ever says no, and ask them to refill it with water, and they do. So that has stopped me picking up plastic bottles of water in, you know, off licenses or when I'm passing a Tesco's or something. And 20 billion plastic bottles get washed up onto different shores and beaches every year. 20 billion. Just makes me want to cry. And so this now is stopping me from washing up my share of water bottles. Then if it's not water or cold drinks, I've got this Keep Cup, which is a Tear Fund one. Actually, I think my sister got it at an event or something. I can't remember, but I've stolen it. They've teamed up with the Keep Cup brand. Don't know if you can see that. It's also a good money saver because we've got a Nespresso coffee machine, and so often I just make a coffee and take it out with me. So then also I'm saving money as well as plastic. Also, while I'm on Nespresso, we've got an espresso machine, and the pods that we use, we collect into a bag, and then when they deliver us our next load, they take those back to recycle. So don't worry. Also in the coffee drinks, I don't know why it needs to be so streamlined, but while we're in that topic, straws. Plastic straws are another massive killer. My sister and brother-in-law went travelling around the world last year, and they've got some incredible photos, but they were saying one of the things that has kind of stuck with the most is how kind of false Instagram can be, and that you see this Instagram photo, but then when you're there in real life, you just step back slightly and away from this stunning view, you look around you and it was just rubbish and straws and plastic bottles just everywhere. And then they'd swim with these turtles and incredible marine life. See something, they think it was a jellyfish and it's a plastic bag. And so I think seeing it in the flesh for them really changed their view. And I remember it was when Sarah came back, my sister came back, and she was like, right, okay, I can't use straws anymore, because we both don't like drinking from a cup. Sounds weird. I just think it tastes better from the straw. I don't know why. But obviously we then clocked how many straws that must mean we were getting through, and that are just turning up in oceans somewhere. So anyway, so these metal straws, reusable. They came in a pack with some straight ones and then some bent ones. And again, just no more expensive, if not actually definitely cheaper, because I got a pack of maybe 10 for less than £10. But I'm just going to be able to use them and use them and use them. Whereas you buy a big pack of straws, yeah, they might only be £1, but you then chuck them away and buy another load and another load. So it definitely all evens out as being cheaper, and obviously just so much better for the environment, because you're not chucking them away, and it's just such an easy thing to do. Just go on Amazon and order some straws. Another thing that I've been amazed about, that it's just no more expensive, is toothbrushes. And toothbrushes is another thing that I just hadn't even clocked was bad for the environment. I don't know, there's so many things that now looking at it, I feel like it's really obvious, but I just wasn't thinking about it. But of course, you throw away your toothbrush every 6 months. That's a big bit of plastic that you're just chucking away, and it's got to go somewhere. And so we ordered some bamboo ones. Now, I've heard mixed reviews about these, I'm not gonna lie. I've got on really well with it. I know some people say they're not as strong, because I guess they're not gonna be, they're bamboo, not plastic. And so some people have said that theirs have snapped. But I find, I was talking to my dentist, and actually you shouldn't be brushing your teeth that vigorously. I don't know if this is gonna become a toothbrushing tutorial, but the main good you do for your teeth is in flossing. And so then the toothbrushing is just to kind of brushing it away. You don't need to like really vigorously brush. So if you're just brushing normally, these are absolutely great. I got these in I'll link everything below of everything that I've been buying. These came in a pack of 4, and they are very clever because they each have a number on them. And so, because obviously they all look the same, me and Henry have both got one. I know I'm number 2, he knows he's number 3. Another very simple change that hasn't cost me any more. So I got a pack of 4 for I think £8 maybe, so £2 each, which is just toothbrush cost, if not a bit less. I'm trying to slowly remove all plastic from our house and be more on it with recycling, and just be a bit more aware of everything we're using. But it's very overwhelming to do that, and so I'm trying to do it slowly and in an unintimidating way. Another big thing for me is nappies. I use regular nappies, I use Pampers, I use normal wipes, and the more I look into it, the more I've been researching, the more I've Googled wet wipe sewage. You can't unsee that image. The more I want to change. I feel like some people make it look easy, but for me it's quite overwhelming, the idea of doing reusable nappies. But I'm slowly trying to shift. Anyway, this is a long-winded way of saying, for wipes, so far all I've done is I've shifted to biodegradable wipes, which almost all wipes aren't. These, Kinda by Nature, I just got in Waitrose. Kinda by Nature, natural, unscented baby wipes, 100% biodegradable, compostable, and chlorine-free, and paraben-free and all that, and with organic aloe. They've won a lot of awards. And again, they were no more expensive. They're about £1.50 for a pack, but they had an offer where it was like 3 packs for £3 or something, so I just stocked up. So that's my kind of one step towards being better. It can feel like you have to do all or nothing, and that actually it's okay to do little bits and to change here and there. And so for me, I'm gonna have these as backups, and these when the kids do a poo, I'm always gonna use these. But as well as those, I've ordered some little reusable wipes, which are basically like little flannels. And so I'm gonna take those out with me as well. I've got 2, one for bums, one for faces. When you're out and about and they've been having some snacks and they're messy, rather than getting out another wipe, get out this wet wipe reusable flannel thing. And again, when I'm changing their nappies, if it's not a poo, if it's just a wee, wipe them over with that. But also having these for poos and other emergencies, because I just feel like for me, I can't go the whole way yet. I just want to kind of work out how it works for me, and I think that's fine. Which brings me on to reusable nappies. These things have intimidated me for such a long time. The lovely Bambino Mio sent these to me a long time ago. They've just been sitting in my drawer, and I've used them a couple of times when we've completely run out of nappies, but I haven't used them properly. And then I have finally started using them, but again, for me, in a non-overwhelming, intimidating way. If we're at home, I'm putting Jet in these, and then if we're out and he hasn't yet done a poo that day, I'll put him in normal nappies, so that when we're out, I don't have to worry about changing a poo in a reusable nappy while in a cafe. I'm just not there yet mentally. But anyway, these are lovely. Bambino Mio are a lovely brand. I know loads of people that use these nappies, and they're great. They're a really simple design, so they're just like one size fits all. I've also ordered, it hasn't arrived yet, but I've ordered a Bambino Mio little bag for the wet nappies to then put them in, so when you're out and about, they're not just in your changing bag. It's like a special waterproof bag, like reusable, that does up tightly. If I've had to use one of the reusable flannel wipe things as well, you can put them in that bag, so you're not just getting a wet changing bag. So the aim is to be trying to use these more and more and more, but for now, introducing these into our lives. And again, I just feel like every time I am putting him in these, that's one less nappy I've used that day. And so it's one step closer to reducing the amount that we're putting into landfill from our family home. I think the main thing is trying to be really aware of where you're using plastic just one time only. And it's this one-use piece of plastic that's been created, often is full of, you know, BPA, which is really crap chemical that can really affect your body. And you're using it just once and then chucking it, and it's just obviously incredibly wasteful. And so it's trying to be aware of that. So for example, like wipes, you're just using them once and then chucking them. So being aware of maybe trying to get reusable or biodegradable. Another big one, obviously, bags in shops, and that they now charge you because of how just ridiculously horrific they are for the world. Anyway, long-winded way of saying, picked myself up a string bag, which Henry says I'm an old lady, but I think it's actually quite stylish, especially when it's full of my fresh produce. I think I look quite, I don't know, Portobello Road. I've got a couple of these, and I just have them scrunched up in the changing bag and in the car, because that's another thing. My main problem was I was trying to use tote bags and things, or old shopping bags I'd already used and then saved. I was trying to use those, but I often found I'd be passing by a supermarket without having planned to have gone there, and so then I didn't have bags on me, and so then I was having to get more ones and blah, blah, blah. So now I've just worked out that if I have these in every area, like one under the buggy, one in my changing bag, one in the car, I basically can never turn up at a shop unprepared. And these are amazing. These just like expand and expand and expand and can hold so much. I did a full weekly shop and just used 2 of these. It's another thing that I've, again, was just completely unaware of, and now I've suddenly had my mind kind of open to, is all the packaging within supermarkets. So often, like for example, the broccoli, there's always packaged broccoli and then unpackaged broccoli. And so now I'm always making sure I'm making the effort to buy the thing that's not packaged. And then because I've got these on me, rather than it just all being like unpackaged and rolling around in my trolley, I put them straight into the smaller one of these. So like my peppers and broccoli and everything that's unpackaged, I put them in this and then go through and weigh them all. I think before I was just a bit put off because I didn't just want them rolling around in my trolley all unpackaged. But obviously it's just plastic that they've just been wrapped in, that you're just then going to take off and chuck away instantly. And that's been the whole life of that plastic, was just for that one thing that was basically completely unnecessary. So another thing is Jet's bowls and bits. Just trying to shift again to naturally made items. So these bowls that he uses, and Nova will start using in a few months, are from Bamboo, and it's just bamboo, and then this is silicone rather than plastic, and they're just lovely and they last and last and last. And then these are some that I found on Amazon that are made from wheat and straw. And yeah, just such a lovely idea. They're just reusing natural products that are just in the world already. You're not kind of creating these man-made chemical filled things. And I just like that, because the idea that your baby's like feeding from this, I like the idea that it's just so naturally made. And also in this style, got some more Tupperware for Jet. So like I was saying earlier with my parents, they reuse ice cream tubs that they've had, and so when we were going out, my mum made us all sandwiches and then just kind of packaged them into the ice cream tub so that she wasn't needing to cling film them. For me, I get through a lot of cling film, and that's another thing that is kind of needless and then just ends up filling and filling and filling landfill. And so just trying to just be a bit more aware of those kind of things as well, I found has been just very eye-opening to how much plastic I have been using. And so now we've got some Tupperware, which some of it is plastic, but I've made sure I've got nice unchemically plastic that are like BPA free, polythene free, whatever the word is. And so for Jet's nursery pet lunches, you know, I'm packing it all into these rather than cling filming his sandwiches and whatever. It's all in Tupperware, reusable. Also tea bags, a little bit of at the top of tea bags that seals them together is often plastic. Something that I just had no idea about. And cotton buds, they're like plastic, but in between cotton buds is obviously just plastic. And if you think how many times you just use those for whatever, under eyes, eyebrows, ears, and just chuck it. I must have got through a lot of cotton buds in my life. And there are some out there that middle bit is wooden, and I just would never even have thought to look for that. But now I haven't swapped those yet, because again I've got like a bumper pack. But it's just really interesting to be aware of that every time I'm using them, that is a bit of plastic that is now just being chucked in the bin. I do feel very lucky that we live in Brighton. I feel like there's a lot of options for us, but there's a really great shop near us called Hisby. You can take your like washing detergent and fill it up again, so you're reusing the same bottle. Because since I found that out, I haven't yet finished up my bottle, but the next time I finish it up, I'm going to go down to Hisby and check out what they have to offer. I think that's it. I hope that wasn't just really long and really overwhelming. Basically, I think it's just simple little changes that you can make, like go online and order some reusable straws, a nice keep cup, or a nice water bottle that's also thermos, so it's great, so it keeps your water cool all day long. Just those little simple changes that if we all do together will make a very big difference. This video is not at all preachy. I am rubbish when it comes to plastic. This is all very recent, a very recent kind of lifestyle change within the last month or so. And it's still very early days, but I'm just trying to change a little bit, and I'm by no means judging anyone that uses a lot of plastic, because that was me as well a month ago. But I just wanted to share what I've learned, because I've just found it very eye-opening. A lot of things I just, like toothbrushes, I just had no clue. I just had never given it any thought about where my toothbrush was then going once I was finished with it. And so for me, I found it really interesting. So I hope someone out there as well finds this interesting and maybe thinks about making a few little changes. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.